During the 2017 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls traded Jimmy Butler and the 16th overall pick to Minnesota for Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and the 7th overall pick. This move drastically changes the landscape across the NBA and alters the direction of both these teams. What's up, YouTube fam? The biggest move of the offseason so far has perhaps created another super team in the West. The Minnesota Timberwolves were able to add a 3-time All-Star in his prime to their roster. Jimmy Butler, who is only 27 years old, is a top 15 player in the NBA, maybe even top 10 on some lists. How Minnesota was able to pry a superstar in Jimmy Butler away from the Chicago Bulls without giving up one of their current 2 stars completely baffles me. Minnesota now has 3 superstar caliber players on their roster, with Jimmy being the oldest of them all. With 21-year-old 7-footer Karl Anthony Towns, who averages 25.1 points per game, 12.3 rebounds, and 2.7 assists in only his second year, and 22-year-old Andrew Wiggins, who averaged 23.6 points a game last season. With the addition of Jimmy Butler, the Minnesota Timberwolves now have a big 3 who can compete with the top 3 of any NBA roster. Shifting over to the Bulls side of the trade, after rehauling their roster last year with the Derrick Rose trade to New York and letting Joakim Noah leave in free agency, the Bulls looked like they were rebuilding around Jimmy Butler. With adding talent like Dwayne Wade and Rajon Rondo, they finished 8th in the East and lost to the Boston Celtics in the first round of the playoffs. The Bulls quickly hit that reset button again with the trade of Jimmy Butler. For the second offseason in a row, the Bulls are in rebuild mode. This time, adding 22-year-old shooting guard Zach LaVine coming off an ACL tear, and point guard Chris Dunn, who averaged only 3.8 points a game in his first season as a pro, and rookie Lauri Markkanen from Arizona. I happen to like the addition of these 3 players if LaVine can come back from injury. But the direction of the Bulls is perplexing, and their front office should definitely be on the hot seat if this rebuild isn't quick. The star power in Minnesota should put butts in the seats and give Timberwolves fans some hope after 13 straight seasons of not making the playoffs. But the question is, can the Timberwolves compete in the Western Conference? And how does this new Big 3 in Minnesota stack up against the powerhouse constructed in Golden State? Minnesota's defense should be vastly improved with the addition of Jimmy Butler, who is a great defender, after their 106.7 points allowed per game in 2017, which was 18th in the league. The biggest problem, however, will be Minnesota's poor 3-point shooting. Last season, the Timberwolves finished 20th in team 3-point percentage at 34.9%. The addition of Jimmy Butler, who shoots 33.7% from 3 for his career and 36.7% last year, does not solve this major problem. In a 3-point shooting league, 20th overall isn't going to cut it. If Minnesota wants to compete in the only 2 years guaranteed of Jimmy Butler with his contract set to expire in the summer of 2019, they need to surround this Big 3 with shooters. If they can do this, and Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins continue to improve, watch out Golden State, there might be a new super team in the West. The next few years in Minnesota should be very interesting after acquiring Jimmy Butler. If Minnesota is able to convince Jimmy to stay long term, we truly could be in for something special. Well, that's all for today, YouTube fam. I'll catch everybody on the next video. Peace.